We are done with the discussion on different methods of depreciation. Now we move on to lesson 5, which is capital financing. So we have there included the bonds already. So we first define what is a bond: a debt instrument with a promise to pay back the money with interest. It is the issued certificate of indebtedness. Okay, so the interest can be variable or fixed. So if we have to differentiate the two: interest rate, that is for the variable, it is an adjustable rate. Okay, for the fixed interest rate, that is the unchanging rate. Okay, so to differentiate simply the different interest rate. Okay, so variable rate can go up or down in response to changes in the prime rate or index rate, whereas for a fixed rate, that remains the same unless the lender changes it. And then for fixed rates also, these are usually higher than variable rates because people are willing to pay extra for the comfort of knowing their interest rate will not change. Okay, so if interest rates are relatively low but are about to increase, it will be better to lock in your loan at a fixed rate. On the other hand, if interest rates are on the decline, then it would be better also to have a variable rate loan. So we have here two classifications also of bonds. So we have here the registered bonds and the coupon bonds. So for the registered bonds, this doesn't need action from the holder, that is the owner. Okay, and then for the coupon bonds, that needs to surrender his bond to be redeemed. Okay, so to define this one: coupon bonds, referred to as bearer bond also, or bond coupon. This is a debt obligation with coupons attached that represent semi-annual interest payments. Okay, and then for the registered bonds, these are bonds that are issued in the owner's, or that is the bondholder's name and address. So if we have here the meaning of bond value: the value of a bond is the present worth of all future amounts that is expected to be received through ownership, or that is the bond holder. Okay, and then that is through the ownership of the bond. Okay, so we have there the formula for V sub n. So V sub n there is the selling price, or that is the value of the bond at n periods before redemption, and then that is equal to C all over 1 plus I raised to n. C there is the amount paid to the bondholder at maturity of the bond. So that is usually referred to as a future amount. And then that is divided by 1 plus I raised to n. I there is the yield interest rate. So that is different um, to the nominal rate of interest. Okay, so for I, that is equal to the nominal rate of interest divided by the compounding periods, and that is n also. Okay, so that is plus, sorry, that is m, and then that is plus f multiplied by r. F there is the par value. So if you're going to um, define what is a par value, that is the amount stated on the bond, and then multiplied by r, that is the bond rate, and then multiplied by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 divided by 1 plus I raised to n multiplied by the yield interest rate. Okay, so we have it there for n also, that is the number of periods prior per redemption. So that is after the redemption already. Okay, so if we have here example number 1, a bond value with a par value of 1,000 with a bond rate of 9% payable annually. So M there is already equal to 1 since that is payable annually, is to be redeemed at 1,050 already. Okay, so that will be the future amount, or that is the amount to be redeemed. Okay, at the end of 6 years from now. So that is the period of redemption, that is n. Okay, if it is sold now, what should be the selling price to yield 8%? So either is equal to 8%, and for the unknown, okay, we are required to get the selling price. Okay, that is V sub n. Okay, so for the solution, we have there the formula. Okay, so don't forget there that the bond rate is R, which is 9%, and I there is the yield interest rate, which is 8%. 5%. So it's different, okay? So we have there the solution of V sub n, which is the selling price, that is equal to C, which is the future amount, or that is the amount to be redeemed, divided by 1 plus the yield interest rate, I raised to n, the years of redemption, okay? And then plus F, that is the par value or the amount stated on the bond, multiplied by R, which is the bond rate, and that is multiplied by 1 plus the yield interest rate raised to periods of redemption minus 1, and then divided by 1 plus yield interest rate raised to the years of redemption multiplied by the yield interest. Okay, so we just have to substitute the values there, that is equal to 1050. Okay, that is the future amount already, and then that is divided by 1 plus the yield interest rate, that is 0.08, and that is for the years of redemption, we just raise it to 6, and then plus, okay, for the par value or the amount stated on the bond, so that is 1000, and then multiplied by the bond rate, which is 0.09 already, and then multiply it by 1 plus 0.08, and then raised to the periods of redemption, okay, that is minus 1, divided by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 6, and multiply it by 0.08 also, and then the value for the selling price would be equal to, okay, 1077.74 pesos already. So that will be the selling price of the bond. Okay, so we have there example number 2 also. A company has issued 10-year bonds with a face value of 1 million in 1,000 units. So face value there is just the return of investment. Okay, so that doesn't include in our formula now. That is just the return of investment. That is the face value. Okay, interest at 16% is paid quarterly. So that is the um, bond rate, that is 16% per quarterly. So we have to divide this one by M, which is 4, since that is in quarterly. If an investor desires to earn 20% nominal interest on 100,000 worth of these bonds, so that will be the value of the amount stated on the bond. So that is C already, or that is F. Okay, so that is the par value also. So that is also the future amount. Okay, so what would be the selling price have to be, so that we are required to get the V sub n, so the selling price also. So we have it there, C or F, that is also equal to 100,000. Since 1 million there is just the face value, okay, that is the return of investment. So that is not the future amount, or that is not the par value. So that is 100,000 there should be the par value, or that is the future amount, and that is the amount to be redeemed also. Okay, so for R, that is 16%, since that is per quarterly, okay, that is paid quarterly, we have to divide this one 16%, or that is 0.16 divided by 4, since that is in quarterly. Okay, so that is equal to 4%, or that is 0.04 already. Okay, so for N, that is 10 years, since that is paid quarterly, we have to multiply it by 4. So the 10 years of redemption multiplied by quarterly, since that is paid quarterly, so that is 40 years already. And then for the nominal rate of interest, that is just 20%, we have to get the value of the yield in interest rate. So that is nominal rate of interest divided by the compounding year. So that is divided by 4. Okay, so that is just 20%, or 0.2 divided by 4. So that is equal to 5%, or that is 0.05 in its decimal form. So solution we have there, we have to get again the selling price, which is V sub n. So that is again equal to future amounts C divided by 1 plus the yield interest rate raised to n, which is the redemption period. Okay, so that is plus F, then multiplied by the bond rate multiplied by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 again, and then divided by 1 plus I raised to n multiplied by the yield. Okay, so we have it there. V sub n is equal to, okay, so the future amount and the par value is equal to 100,000 divided by 1 plus yield interest rate, which is we have computed to be 0.05 already, raised to the periods of redemption, that is 40 years, plus the par value, or that is equal also to the future amount, or that is the amount stated on the bond, so that is also 100,000. Then that is multiplied by R, which is 0.04, so that is the bond rate, okay, already, and then that is already divided by 4 since that is paid quarterly, and then multiplied by 1 plus 0.05 raised to number of years after redemption, or before redemption, sorry, or that is divided by 1 plus 0. Plus 0.05 raised to 40 again, and then multiplied by the yield interest rate, which is 0.05. Okay, so if we're going to compute for the selling price, that is equal to 82,840.914 pesos. So that will be our final answer. That is the selling price of the bond already. Okay, so that ends our discussion on capital financing the bonds.